We got to see MLXG versus Peanut, and I was like, oh, okay, that's going to be wild. We're going to be seeing a lot of hectic nonsense. This time around, MLXG versus the methodical, surgical score. He's going to be incredibly smart around playing pressure-wise, looking for counter ganks. It's going to be on MLXG to play a little bit of slower game. Yeah. Try and be undetected early on in the game.
He's a very different beast, but I do think out of Rift Rally with MLXG show that he can compete with that type of style. For now though, we're into Champions Set with China and Korea. It will be Varus and Rise, the first two bands from China, and then on the red side, Aatrox and Camille. Going back to something I'm a little bit more used to in terms of the meta hit, Raz.
Yeah, and Varus is a pick that you have to take off the board in 8.15, 8.16. It's just a strong bottom lane, no matter if it goes Comet or Lethal Tempo. So that does open up the Kai'Sa a little bit for China down the ranks. They can then just kind of like say, yeah, you don't have to actually worry about the bottom lane anymore in first pick. I want to pick Rakan here. I think Rakan is a very strong bottom lane and allows Ruler and CoreJJ to go towards the Xayah Rakan matchup. Alistar being banned does open it up a little bit. That being said, if you pick up the Rakan, then it opens up the other team to go towards the Tahm Kench.
Yeah, this is actually super important around the bot side of the map, just to open up these first couple of picks right here. As you just said, Alistar, very strong pick into Rakan. That one now taken away here from Korea, puts China in a bit of a bind.
Akali is open though. So Ryze is a major counter pick towards the Akali in the laning phase, but LeBlanc is still open. Yeah. There we go, Akali immediately getting locked in. But Faker is an incredible, in fact, he started his career just nailing players down on the LeBlanc. I want to see right here in the best of one, him just lock it in the first phase of the pick ban.
I mean, this is the thing with Fake, you know, everyone thinks a bit of the big flashy plays, but this guy's the innovator as well in the mid lane, you know. If anyone's going to have a pick to counter out an Akali, a new pick coming forth in the mid lane, it will be Faker. I remember when he was playing AP Tahm Kench in solo queue for some reason. Who knows whether that's going to come through, but I definitely think that, as you said, LeBlanc could be a massive pick from here, but the bottom lane is going to be confirmed here by Korea. It's going to be Tahm Kench and Ashe.
Next best thing when it comes down to bottom lane pressure when the Varus is locked down is to go towards the Ashe. Now I want to see if Uzi and Mako still goes towards the Kai'Sa focus, just because it's incredibly difficult to look down Tahm Kench and Ashe and not just get pushed in and lose your tower at 10 minutes. That's a major focus here. China needs a strong bottom lane to push out, or need to think about just all-inning on their top side. Because this is actually very difficult now if you're China. Now you've locked in a Kai'Sa that is very likely going to get pushed in repeatedly, and Akali just has bad pushing matchups, so Korea has a very intelligent draft. Right. That being said, the Rakan locked in means that they have a lot of engage opportunities.
Yeah, the Birdman comes in alongside Kai'Sa. I mean, you know, Uzi is not a man to turn down, you know, when a gauntlet is being thrown in front of him. It's like, heck yeah, lock me in the Kai'Sa, give me a playmaker and support. I got Mako alongside me, arguably the best, if not top 2 Rakan in the entire LPL league right here. So, I mean, bottom lane going to be super spicy down there. We're going to actually see a Galio come forward from Korea. Expect that one to go into the mid lane for Faker.
Yeah, so it's going to go towards him. That being said, I want to see the laning phase between the two because
有一个观众给我说，这个 Lenny 啊，阿卡丽最近啊是最近常练的，然后之前排位还拿过19杀1死的成绩啊，所以说我们这场也是有很好看的东西。
The escape again because he has the taunt, so immediately you can see Xie going towards cleanse is a great indicator of how that lane is going to be playing out. And if Akali ever roams out of the lane, then of course there's going to be a Galio that follows. So great front to back so far coming out of the Korean line.
Oh yeah, big fan of the Galio matchup. It's definitely still in its infancy, seeing a lot of players fail in that match, but also the tactics are there. You know, the setup is 100% there, and as you're alluding towards the jungle as well, score is going to be a major part of that mid lane matchup. The 2 versus 2 in the mid lane and jungle will be something to keep an eye on.
I'm immediately looking towards the Kindred pick, just because you already have a Galio, a Tahm Kench. You could very easily go towards another tank top laner, but you can already see from the second phase bans alone Cho'Gath and the Ornn that they're already trying to nail that away from Let Me, so maybe they go towards the carry pick. But the reason why I say Kindred is because by far the strongest jungler, which is why immediately getting banned out by China is the last one.
Yeah, Kindred gone, Jace banned, taking away a lot of these playmakers. And of course, Let Me, everyone knows he's a tank player on the top side, trying to take away as many of those as possible. But, you know, something like a Mundo's still up there for him as well. Let Me's not going to be too phased from that, just a lot of the utility picks taken away in terms of the engage. And we will have a Gragas here from Korea.
Or Gnar, honestly. Remember, now his role is just to pick blindly. He doesn't know what he's going up against, and he knows that the enemy jungler on the Gragas mid laner, Galio, there's a lot of dive potential, so he just needs to think about saving himself. That being said, that might be an Akali top lane.
It could be an Olaf top lane.
There's a lot of things it could be, but remember, Olaf has to be jungle.
It has to, yeah.
That is literally the only jungle. So you just picked the only
wrong
option.
I picked the only, out of all the right answers, I picked the
I respect the hustle, though. I respect it. But yeah, Akali
might put this in my mind, man.
Akali might go top lane, which is great. One thing to take note of is no mana cost there, so if you're Republic of Korea, you want to pick up a top lane, you want to try in something that has sustained damage that can consistently stay in lane. Now, GP is not that.
GP the opposite of that, right?
Is the opposite. I was thinking more of a Gnar pick here as well.
Yeah.
You might have the all-in against you, because Akali might be able to take the all-in, especially post 6. But then you can actually set up the dives pretty easily. But this just showcases that Republic of Korea having an eye on towards the bottom lane. So it's going to be Kai'Sa and the Rakan that is a major target, as GP, once he pings 6, can send down the ultimate right down there.
As you said, bot lane focused here. And also, if you're going to give it over to anybody, I feel like the safest hands in the east right here, Keenan in top lane. Give him the gangplank, he's probably going to be able to get out of the laning phase fine.
Oh,
but,
yeah.
I mean, this is definitely a bit of a curveball coming out here from China. We'll see which lanes these get swapped up into in the end, because I fully expect it not to be Rakan mid.
Now, they did make a mention that they have been putting in a lot of preparation for this specific.
那我这里有观众跟我说哈 ，Faker 的加里奥是去年 S 赛制啊 ，S 赛制裁过我们的，然后
they've had that prep towards Let Me. Now, Let Me, of course, you already made a mention that he is a tank top laner,
比较危险哈，
facilitator in a lot of cases. But he always does comes out in the regular season that he's like, hey, I can play chase, I can play carry top, I can take a bullet, just give it to me, and I can at least lead you towards victory before we head in towards the bracket stage, the best of 3s. This time around, he's saying that you do have to respect me going up against the King. Major pressure on his shoulders. We'll have to see how that lane ends up going, and if MLXG can try and upset it.
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, China were playing fast and loose earlier today in our first match of the day, and Let Me actually had the highest damage in that game. But the fact that they're still looking towards this versus Korea is interesting to me as we take a look at the rosters once again and one more time before we head on to the Rift.
Here we go. Just taking a look at Korea's composition immediately. I love seeing the Predator Gragas as we are just about to get in.
As we are on to the Rift, China versus Korea. This is the match that everybody wants to see. The first time they'll face up against each other will happen once more tomorrow before we get into the bracketed stage.
Seconds until minions spawn.
Oh my. Followed us over from China Raz. The crowd chants coming forth right there.
Yeah, the fans at both ends definitely making the trip. Thank you guys for making it.
Heck yeah. It's a long trip. It's about a 5-hour plane ride. Even more than that if you try and swim.
I mean, at least you're saving some dollars.
Yeah, you're not wrong. But we'll save. You don't watch much LPL, our fan clubs over there. Very well organized. You can see that they are ready for today.
Now, it's always tough gauging the level 1s between both these teams. Now, Olaf, you'd usually say, well, Olaf, of course, give it level 1s towards them. But then you have the Tahm Kench, a lot of damage that he can dish out. Ash Volley, of course, and just looking at the CC from both Galio if he's holding on to his ability, so he can just mark into the W, and as well as the Gragas then. You don't want to do it if you're China. Going into the enemy jungle, not being able to know if they're all standing in one bush, so makes it so it's much safer for both ends to just keep themselves hidden within their own camps, nothing fancy for the best of them.
Yeah. Here, though, I am looking towards the top side of the map because if you've just tuned in, you didn't watch Champion Select. Yes, that's Akali top lane.
我想问一下，关键时刻大家需不需要我给大家翻译一下？如果需要的话，大家可以在聊天室里扣个1。如果不需要翻译的话，大家只想看的话呢，就直接扣个2。
Of this patch recently is that you just take your full top side camps, and then you base and go towards the bottom side. It makes a lot of sense for both these junglers because they're both Predator junglers. You can take your full top side, get the most experience out of it, base, get your boots, and then you can make a path towards bottom lane. Of course, then you would be able to get the Predators online with boots enabled. So that should be the pathing here. Now, if you're Gragas and you don't know where Olaf is going to be pathing towards, then it's just safer to try and go for the most experienced passing. Otherwise, it's a risk and you'll just lose out on experience. Because Olaf is just an experienced hawk. He just runs through the jungle like a hawk.
Yeah, he doesn't care, man. He'll keep going. He doesn't need to go for that recall because he's Olaf.
好的，没问题。我看情况会适当给大家进行一点点的翻译的，好吧。
coming through for the Gragas, but has picked up his boots. So Predator online, looking for some early gank / counter ganks. He's also now level 3. Will be important for him, but yeah, really do like the Predator nowadays on that Gragas.
Take a look at this. MLXG didn't base actually, so that means that he took his top side immediately, foregoing his red buff. Might end up getting a gank here. This is a great position to do that. He's already been seen here, so great pathing here from Score. Gets an eye on MLXG, so he either has to base or take the camps that are already here for him. So it's not a lot of efficiency just based off that first pathing anyways, just because Score got an eye on it.
Yeah. He will secure both crabs on both sides of the map, though, so a lot of extra experience going over to him as well as gold. And mid lane just kind of, going at it. I remember that Sheer has some pretty fond memories of this matchup versus Faker. Definitely not the first time these two have gone toe-to-toe.
He's always gotten the counter matchup. Historically, of course, 2017 Rift Rivals, you got the Lucian into the Galio this time. You got the Zoe. A few things change in this respect. You can see that the wave's not fully pushed in towards him, so Galio, Faker here has to watch out. It's great that he's gotten the Resolve primary tree. Very difficult to actually peel through all that resistance that he has if he ever pushes into the tower because of the gank pressure that Olaf has here. The Sleepy Trouble Bubble that GA can always look to throw out there, so always keep an eye on the matchup.
Yeah, the goal is survival, but as you said, because it's instantaneous, the resistance he can get from his statue of Durans, and also the fact he has the Aftershock instant resistance is great against a burst champion like Zoe, so we'll be able to survive a lot of this laning phase, you'd have to hope. Is currently even in farm, so he's totally fine in the mid lane. Top side though, Score looking to set a potential gank here onto Let Me Flash, and the E coming out there. Let Me try and jump away from this one, but has to turn around. I mean, his only hope is look for a trade, and that will be first blood over to the jungle of Korea.
Just great timing there, because of course Faker had to push in the mid lane, so there's no opportunity for anyone to go up top side to help him out. MLXG was coming out of base, so it's great. One opportunity, one window that Score was able to find, and he was able to net the kill.
Yeah, really nice stuff coming out from him, but again, Let Me just not burning his flash, realized the situation he was in, trying to double down on the play, but I mean, that's perfect. We were talking about this matchup, we were talking about like the gangplank and how he'll be dealing into an Akali match. I mean, it's like, oh, I don't know about this one, but right now, the support coming in from the jungle is really just what has turned the matchup.
Take a look at this one, quick and easy. Of course, W is already gone from Akali, so there's no way to hide in obscurity at that point in time. One thing to make note of, GP just came back from base with Sheep, so he's also a Grassme and dying GP, so he's actually really strong stats-wise up against the Akali. Should take the matchup here from this point forward. So very possibly, Score can make a repeat gank, but with the flash already being held by Let Me, he should be in a good position to now flash out of that if the gank does come topside. And he should have Olaf to at least put down defensive ward.
他们在说让这个阿卡丽啊，刚刚打这个 GP 的时候，本来就声音有点劣势的，因为 GP 刚从家里出来，然后他们也希望阿卡丽能够请这个 Olaf 给他多放点眼。
So the Sheen's going to help, yes, but there still is the burst potential coming from the Akali that's going to zone him away from these minions. I'm actually saying, no,
pick it back up.
No, easy recall for you. I'm going to try and put him to sleep, but he's going to make the heroic exit. I don't even know where he's gone.
There we go. He's just gone up out of there. And he's basing anyways. He's like, all right, get me out of this lane already. If he got chased down, then there was a possibility of a kill. The Sleepy Trouble Bubble did land. And of course, the exhaust was picked up. So it was just a good idea to expend your ultimate. Does mean, though, that Korea wants to actually look for a play in the bottom lane, that it's going to be pushed to the side for a little bit. No TP, no ultimate from the Galio means that he's not going to be a part of the play unless if he just walks down bottom lane alone.
Let Me playing this matchup really well. Actually, this is the type of thing that I just want to watch the entire laning phase. If I could just keep the camera on the top side, I'd be a happy man, Raz.
You don't make that choice.
No, I don't, unfortunately, because the rest of the map counts a lot. But yeah, seeing this Akali in the top side, and actually just seeing those small interactions with him versus Keen is fascinating. The fact that you can see the CS advances being opened up here is in part the fact that Let Me knows this, at least knows how to play Akali in the top lane. He's playing around those pushes exceptionally well.
Yeah, I'm a little worried though, because with how well he's been playing up in the top side, just excluding the gank that came through, you can already see the game starting to speed up in the bottom side of the map. So he's going to have to be a little bit more cognizant of what's happening bot side. He doesn't have his teleport enabled, so it's like maybe if he wants to be able to help his team, he's going to have to think about pushing out, rotating mid once that he gets that chance so his team can actually place down defensive wards bot side, because Republic of Korea has actually been putting a lot of pressure there. That being said, Score's top side, that's going to fake Team China out a little bit, giving them an idea that, hey, you know, we're contesting Vision bot side, but actually we're making a gank happen top side.
我要说一下，如果你卡哈，是因为现在有太多人看了，然后你可以刷新你的直播或者去搞松快的地方，然后或者把你的这个分辨率啊调得更低。啊，我在这里同时在监测的我们直播的质量，我们现在直播是没有任何问题。
I think that's really where we're expecting the next thing to happen, because Six has just been picked up here by the Ashe. Down to around half right here, Ruler. But again, you've got Gallo, the setup coming in from him. Gragas now happy towards bottom side. The Dragon is up. Top side has got the ultimate ready to go in the cannon barrage. And as you said, Let Me doesn't have his teleport. So if Korea wants to make a play, you probably bet a couple dollars that it would be in the bottom side.
So just let me paint a picture for you.
Okay.
All right. So immediately, of course, you can already see the Republic of Korea placing a lot of control wards in the bottom side of the map. Ashe, ping 6. You want to at least give her more opportunities, because bottom lane's going to be hugging that turret. We should be fine, which is correct. That being said, you're going to put that on hold in the top lane.
Oh yeah, no one expects the Berserker coming out of the jungle with Predators. Keen goes with the orange right there. Double flash coming through, double ultimate, but that's still going to be a return kill. Keen playing that one exceptionally well.
Hugging his tower, really well done. Now there is no opportunity to be able to get it done. That being said,
we didn't see it didn't happen.
It definitely happened. You can't run away from this one. That actually turns into a bottom lane tower immediately because he's committing to this one. So while on the top side, of course, you make the dive happen. Great. Akali may take the tower, but she goes into obscurity, so it's going to be Olaf, and you playing that long time around, you want to commit for the kill. Guess what? You're going to be losing a little bit of tempo yourself. So Amalexia coming onto the map and seeing what is carnage in the bottom lane. Good choice from Score to, of course, pick the bottom lane apart, knows that he has the numbers advantage there.
Yeah, again, that play did happen. Well, we were just saying that. We were expecting it to happen, but top side was all a red herring. So getting that kill back in return evens up the matchup, and also Akali was naturally winning from his CS, but actually get to see what happens on the bottom side. Roller very low, but I expect it's just set up from barrel. Oh,
wow.
Wow, coming out from the score, yeah. And Core JJ just getting the secure in there at the end.
Really just wanted to assist, man. He was like, unhand me, minions, please.
Get me out.
Get me the kill. It wasn't going to happen. So at least good setup from Score. The Gragas knocked back the ultimate into the body slam. Well done from him.
Smooth as you like. Didn't even need Ruler in the end.
Now we have 2 kills. You see a lot of times where a Gragas going, of course, with a new build, which is going straight towards the AP. Now, here's the solo queue question I always have to ask myself. Because if you look, you see it in competitive play a lot of times, the Gragas will say, well, I mean, if I want to play smart, I will go straight towards tank afterwards. And then I'll just have the Runic Echo. But with how many kills he's going, maybe he goes towards his own. Yeah, maybe I'm just putting it out there. Prota belt, perhaps.
还有我再说一下啊，就是我们现在看到的这个比赛呢是一个小组赛的也是中国的第2场。中国今天只有2场比赛，所以说打了韩国也打了哈萨克斯坦，然后打哈萨克呢是直接赢了，然后打韩国的这一场也是 BOE。输和赢的这个重要意义性啊，就是有，但是不是特别大，因为中国队还是有机会在这个最后的小组赛拿出前2名。然后直接跟韩国队重新再打，然后进入决赛了。
I think the Ashe arrow is up and available. So just trying to set it up. Even if you don't find an opportunity bottom lane, control wards leading towards mid makes it so Zoe could be the next victim.
Thing is though, you know, RNG, which is the majority of this roster, like to strike fast and they like to strike hard. A lot of international viewers will be very aware of that, but they've come to the bottom side. A different dynamic here for Uzi. Of course, Xie in the mid lane. So obviously been a massive component over WE for the last year, the last 2 splits, you know, 2018. He's been one of the shining lights for that roster.
Yeah, coming out, of course, in 2017 was known as a great team player. Now just being known as a great individual player. So being slotted into this lineup, very natural. I know that there were some issues that they had during the qualifiers where a lot of times communication between him and the rest of the team was desynced. But coming into this game, back on the Zoe, I expect to see incredible plays. Remember, going up against Faker, has a great eye on the matchup, now has teleport enabled. So it all comes down to how he ends up sinking into the team once again, how the team fights end up going. It's very difficult playing team fights as a Zoe pick, especially if you're going straight front to back. So he has to be creative, finding an eye on the back line if he can get an angle.
这也提高一下这个我们刷新的频率啊，这样来确保就是有更好的这个声音和这个游戏的这个同步，视频的同步。然后如果说你看到这个视频质量不好呢，我建议你就是去一个网速更快的地方，或者是。
And for how controllers being well executed here from Korea, there's no opportunity for China to even get out of their own lanes, let alone look for a dive. And if they do, double teleport here from Republic of Korea with the Gangplank ultimate and the Galio ulti. I just don't see.
他现在说啊，他说中国现在很难走出自己的这个线啊，就是说他们现在很难，就是说去各处游走，因为他们这很难走出这个线，线压力太大了。
MLXG got his first death of the game, didn't really manage to set up too much outside of that top lane dive, and even then Korea made a counterpunch. So it just makes China very skittish about making any play at all.
They were trying here, but great positioning from Core JJ. Sittenbush didn't have the ward enabled for him. So
too watertight.
There we go. Got an eye on them when they're trying to look for a dive. And usually if you're a team like China here and you can't really get any plays happening in the lanes, you would look towards the Dragon. But Ocean Dragon, when all eyes are on it, is actually incredibly risky to look for. Gank opportunity here.
Uzi taking a lot of damage, and it's actually Mako going forwards, finds the triple charm right there. Olaf coming into the bottom lane, Korea moving forwards, but actually needs to pay respect right now because Xie looking for that bubble. Putting Tam Kench to sleep, but not permanently. China look to disengage.
It's a big just kidding at the end of the day. Mako played that one out masterfully because he could have actually been bopped himself. But incredibly, wistful getting here and out and there. The fact that Gragas couldn't find a great opportunity to put on his own cask, so he just didn't. And when he tried to go for a body slam, you might see something on Ruler.
Oh, got the Gallo ultimate coming down. Mako caught right in the middle of that one. Double taunt coming through, and he is slapped down with a colossal smash. Faker still moving forwards, Flash coming through. Animation cancel on the Justice Punch, and Score looks for more. Blasters forward, but now he's under attack from Uzi. Takes that full Acapian Rain. In comes Xie. He wants blood right now. Now a bit of shutdown. Axe cutting through from the Olaf. Xie now corralling Faker, turning around, looking for the damage onto Uzi. Doesn't have the cooldowns, and Uzi will find his kill.
There we go. China made something out of nothing, and that's good enough. The fact that the dive ended up happening here from Korea, well done, but went way too deep. In fact, even chose the wrong target. Tried so hard to get on towards MLXG. Forgot that the AD carrier was right beside you. So take a look at this, because it started with China going straight on towards Ruler, but of course Tom Kench is going to whisk your way. There's no way you can get on top of him. Great kill on towards Mako, and then this is where the dive happens. Just look at Uzi. It's like just being forgotten, getting free damage on towards the Gragas, and no one was even touching him. So at the end of the day, Xie comes through and actually just makes the cleanup happen. It was a great start from Korea, poor ending from them.
Yeah, I mean, that was just massive value MLXG got out of both his Ragnarok and the Flash. It's almost as if when aggressing on him, they were just like, there's no way he has any of his summoners or cooldowns whatsoever. It's like, hello? Like, MLXG hasn't even visited the lane in the last 5 minutes.
Definitely mind when being there.
Yeah, I'm just a little shocked, because this is not what I expected out of some of these individual players at the very least coming out of Korea. I mean, that's...
同时，以和为贵哈，以和为贵。我在看到就是说，有任何的民族情节的这个一个语言在里面，我会直接禁言的。
And get back into the action. So we're now 17 minutes into this game, 4-4 in kills. And China just winning the last skirmish, but Korea still ahead in terms of gold. You can see a lot of that coming through from the farm in the mid lane, and of course Gangplank being Gangplank.
So I already love what I see here. The fact that the Rift Herald was picked up the top side of the map. So this is pretty poor for Korea. The fact that they went a little overzealous in the bottom lane and now lose out in pressure in the future play. Because it doesn't matter how the wave's happening in the bottom lane or being pushed out top side with your dual lane. They're sending them to top side. You have to respond to the Rift Herald play. And ordinarily, MLXG would place a mid lane. So you already see him darting straight towards the area. It's going to be difficult for Faker to make a hold on his own. So you're going to have to at least see Score come out and help.
I mean, this is the great thing about this composition, though, from Korea, is because they can all just dogpile onto the mid lane as fast as you like. Abyssal Voyage from top side. They're going to have Score probably around the area anyway, because Score is always just 5 steps ahead. And then Keen as well. At the very least, will be able to support Cannon Barrage, if not teleport, since he does have it up. So China will be all of them having to be in the right place at the right time. That being said, you're going to be looking towards some like Xie to be landing these sleepy trouble bubbles.
Yeah, you already see it's not really too much of an impact on Faker. Faker is way too tanky at this stage of the game, going towards Zhonya's next. So that just makes it a little bit harder for a mid lane dive play to happen. you already made a mention of Abyssal Void, so even though China's been putting a lot of pressure topside to stop them from being able to help out mid lane, you can already just, you know, ult mid lane to help them out, 3 men already underneath towers, so at the very least, the options are there for Korea.
100%, just constantly being able to react to these plays. China were looking to set something up from top side, and Korea like, not today, Sunshine. Push them back into the river, push them down, back into their own jungle from whence they came. It's a bit of a farming frenzy up the top side, securing the Rift Scuffer. I think it'll be pretty nice, actually, if China's looking to make a rotation top side. We're just blocking up another point, another choke point.
Vision, speed, it's great for Korea to be able to nail this one down so they can actually get a good eye of where MLXG is coming. It nails down his route, so he actually has to be deeper in his own jungle to make the decision to either go mid lane or top lane, and, you know, just be undetected.
And for now, we're pretty much back to the laning phase. I call this one the Australian lanes. We're actually just swapping the bottom side to top. Squad's going to be finding himself up here. He knows he has vision control, since they literally just secured it. He's going to be taking out this control ward, and that's MLXG right there in place. So just both junglers beating each other, matching move for move. Teleport back into topside though from Uzi.
Yeah, so you can already see that MLXG is fairly dedicated here. Most junglers would either, of course you could stick top lane, try and brute force it, it's possible. You can already see Zoe pushing out mid lane means that she's actually ready and able to go topside. Or you can then base, help out Let Me, because you know that's an uncontested play. You can either go for a dive, get the Rift Herald throw in the bottom lane, but you know that it's 20 minutes, and that Korea can make a play on the Baron. We'll have to see. You can already see if you're going to follow it up.
I mean, probably. I mean, he's got a ton of damage right now. Keen turning around, pops a cannon barrage, prevents him from going any further, and Scores coming down from the river, looks for the flash as well. Gets the slowdown from the barrel roll, falls over the ultimate, and he is dead before he lands. Kill over, parlay, kill to Keen.
No escape whatsoever. He tried, but Predator Gragas' man runs at you. He just waddles in your direction. You're like, I have so many dashes, but there ain't no way for me to escape. At the very least, he can make the call towards the top side of the map to actually make the push going. Rift Herald is going to smash into the second pair.
Yep, second charge. Oh, we don't get to see the damage from Shelly, but yeah, even so, that was a kill in the bottom side of the map, and you know, that is a matchup that's, you've got to feel good if you're a Kali. You know, you're itemizing AP, you go for the Sorks, and then Keen is itemizing towards the rest of the AD damage threats on the team. It's like, I could do this, but in the end, it's just a bait. You know, Score's going to be around that corner, and he's going to chase you down.
Yeah, it feels bad. In hindsight, he's going to be looking at it and saying, maybe I should have just went for the all-in because he was just in that area. He didn't know that he was close up. And it's only going to be harder now that Trinity Force completed on Keen, even has the Hex Drinker, so just going to be able to survive from a lot of the burst damage that Kali has here. So doing well 20 minutes into the game, and it's only going to get better here for Keen.
Yeah, I mean, that was the window, essentially. He just picked up Hex Drinker, and he just picked up the Caulfield's Warhammer right there. And he was just a Triforce to his name. So unfortunate for him, MLXG also not really getting involved on the play, has been typically moving towards his duo lane.
Yeah, and you're talking about the items. Let's talk about it all for Korea. The fact that we have 2 items across the board. Zonia is completed by Galio, so he wants to fight. Just the Runan's Hurricane being completed for Ruler, so he's actually in a very good position. A lot of magic resist here from the Gragas. TP being pulled out down here.
Yeah, MLXG is pulling a bit of a use there, but he's going to keep on following. Ragnarok pops and Keen getting chased down, forces the flash. He's going to be happy with this for now.
It's always a tough call whether you want to complete the teleport because, of course, mid lane's under.
但同时，如果你的这个言语里面有对其他国家的讽刺啊，其他国家和地区的讽刺啊，或者说有种族歧视的言语呢，我们会直接封号的。谢谢大家配合。
It's much more harder than you would expect it to be.
I mean, they are not a blue shell. They're a contender, and they will be at this tournament. All right, we're back onto the Rift one more time. Hopefully the protocol issue got sorted out right there. Now 22 minutes into the game. It's going to be MLXG just throwing up the Dragon, though. We did have a tower fall while all that was happening, and actually Ruler still pushing in the top side of the map.
Yeah, just an interesting choice here from MLXG to go for the Ocean Dragon bot side. The only way you can actually get the Ocean Dragon and not get contested, lose your life for it, is if the top side play is happening. It is happening, losing a lot of HP on the top lane tower, and just vision as well. Remember, it's 22 minutes into the game, so Korea is in a great spot to actually contest for Baron.
Yeah, I mean, that was just a major loss right there, but yeah, it's coming off the back of a pause as well, so probably a bit of mixed comms. Korea definitely made the most of that situation for certain. 4,000 gold ahead, as you said, massive vision and topside. Pretty much lit up like a Christmas tree. And Baron will be a very big thing in the next couple of minutes from now. So Korea are definitely set up for success. Look towards Keen in the bottom side. Continuing to farm up. Playing patient, and it's rewarded him. Look, he's only 10 CS down. He's about to get this mini wave to resolve. So he's probably ahead in gold right now.
Yeah, there we go. Because at this point, you have to be aware tower right behind him. He doesn't want to extend off towards the next wave, which would really be a detriment. Knowing that MLXG was bottom side earlier taking the dragon, there's no telling if he's actually still there because there's no vision in the bottom side area at all for Team Korea. So you can already see that Keen understanding that he's in a pretty dicey position. And if there's going to be a play being made, it's probably going to be made on his head. So understanding that he's in a good spot and doesn't want to lose it.
Roland CoreJJ rotating towards this mid lane. Keeping their eye around the river. Will be a catalyst for a team fight Roller with these arrows. Haven't just been shooting them out randomly in this game, looking for a potential pick, or just waiting for the perfect opportunity to nail someone down.
Oh yeah, it's my favorite game, you know. The Zoe Sleepy Trouble Bubble win condition. Throw him out if you can. If you hit somebody, hit him. Smack him on the head.
It's 2018 Thresh, baby.
Make it pay.
For something. Faker pushing forwards though, will not be able to find any purchase on the Ragnarocking Olaf. What a dodge coming out there from Mako. Draws out the arrow as well, and Score cannot find anything. Multiple flashes burned from China though.
Yeah, double flash. They knew that Score was going to look for him, so that's key. That is pivotal for the next fight. Knowing, you know, putting down in the chat that China is not ready for the next fight, won't have the flashes, so it's going to be much easier to actually look for a kill on Uzi if they get the chance to.
China are as slippery as you like. A nice gobble up there from CoreJJ as well, making that bubble ineffectual. Tamken's just a great pick right here. I mean, even the bubble's ineffectual. But mid lane siege is still happening, sending out the volley. Instant wave clear on this one. We'll see what China have in the next minion wave, but I mean, he might have to defuse. Right now, just playing this arrow, and Faker is moving towards the top side. He actually might just carry on pushing this wave. Yeah,
so there's no way for China to actually continue to look for this tower, because if they do, that top lane tower has already been primed and ready. Oh, here we go, though. Predator being popped.
Oh, he's locked on.
He's going for it.
He wants it. I mean, Faker low on mana. Was expecting the juke, didn't happen. And Faker will simply walk away from the play.
Best way to get out.
Heck yeah.
Get the morning jog.
I mean, didn't even need to pop the ultimate, didn't need to pop a flash or anything. It feels like Korea are just playing a lot sharper in this game, to be honest, when you look towards China. A lot of their plays have been very ham-fisted.
Yeah, it's just the classic case of cat and mouse. You push in mid, you already see top lane towers being threatened, and a top lane could get taken down if they try to. Faker also had the opportunity of looking for a flank play, knowing that that was ready and available for him if the mid lane push kept going. And they had infinite wave clear with the GP having ultimate. The barrels are strong as well.
韩国队的这个清线能力啊是非常非常强的，远高于中国队。
Very difficult for China to actually look for a play mid lane.
所以中国队现在一直被韩国队压。
Yeah, it's surprising though, because we haven't seen China even look towards playing around power spikes, you know, and that's just a massive thing for the region in general, especially when you have Uzi on your team. It's like, all right, guys, I'm 2 items. I got the Gwynteus, I've got the Storm Races. Had that for a good 6 to 7 minutes now. It didn't look towards making a play. Just carried on farming. There was never any proactive play utilizing Uzi.
It's very hard, because if they're trying to look for a play around teamfight, sure, he has the 2-item power spike, so he can actually get both his E and Q evolved. Looking for a dive here. This is their way to get into the game.
They're setting up, the killer instinct is there. Keen trying to kite backwards, but he is a fast gangplank. This is the day that you almost called Capture Keen.
And no way you can touch him. That's actually 3 people bottom lane. So Korea, all focus around mid lane. What's the play here? You're all around Baron. You can start it, but it's giving time for China to actually respond. Fairly squishy Gragas. So he doesn't want to be.
他说韩国队啊现在可以开大龙了，但也得给中国队时间来进行足够的这个反应啊。所以看看中国队怎么样来应对这个面对情况。
I believe top lane tower just actually fell during the chaos there to Faker on top of that, so Korea is still winning out of these trades.
True, but it wasn't as big of a punish as I'd like it. Yeah. If you saw them all hanging around mid lane, they weren't on Baron, people were bot side. Very close, let's go.
Dicing with Beth there, Xie, and it's going to be the arrow connecting onto Mako, but the follow-through still here from Score. He had the ultimate and the flash available if they wanted to collapse, but Korea, they only go for these 100% percentage plays, man. Like, even if there is a chance at failure, they just don't go for them after that bottom lane dive.
Well, they tried. At the very least, Xie contesting the barrel being placed out from GP, so he can follow up. It's a little bit of a slow follow-up, but I think it would have been able to. We see that.
But the fishing.
They're fishing. They're really looking for it. The control wards will hold on the top side. It's going to be on China to either get a push on mid lane so they can find and contest it. But trying to contest Vision against a Tahm Kench slow, a Gragas body slam, and you know, there's always going to be a Galio following up. He's incredibly dicey. It's going to have to be MLXG. What's the challenger? Let's go!
他们解释中国队现在如果说想